Hello and welcome to Carfection Commentaries, where we're going to take a gem from our back catalogue, dust it off, show it to you again, but with the benefit of hindsight from both myself, Drew Stern, and
me, Alex Goy. Hi.
yes, we've actually been doing this now for coming up to 5 years. It'll be our 5th birthday on January 1st, 2017. So good enough excuse to go back through the 400 odd films that we've made now together.
So we've got loads of stuff, and loads of stuff that, we think deserve a bit of a second run.
Yeah, and we actually came out of the gates really, really hard back in 2012 and did a lot of really great stuff when we had no subscribers, no fans, no one out there. A lot of you probably have only joined us in the last couple of years, might not have dug through our back catalogue, might not have found some of these gems, but certainly don't know some of the stories that went on behind the scenes.
Oh no.
So
no fans, no subscribers, no real idea what we were doing either, which,
Now, if at any point you get sick of what we're saying, there'll be a link in the description which will take you to the full, original, unadulterated version where you don't have to listen to us baffling on about the stuff that we find interesting that happened on the shoot, and you can watch it exactly as the good Lord intended. But stick around if you do want to watch it with some extra tidbits. Anyway, our first film up is a very, very special one, BMW Roadsters. Let's hit play. So, this is one of our biggest shoots that we actually ever did.
It was a big one, yeah. It was like the most ambitious we did because it spans nearly 100 years of history of BMW being ruthless, and it went from
That's ruthless,
not
ruthless.
Well, a little bit, because their designs for the original cars, the 47 on the screen now, was actually stolen a little bit.
Well, was stolen from them.
From them.
Yeah.
And then they were just ruthlessly good at making open-top cars.
This shoot came about, so I was on the Z4 launch, and the conversation came up about the Roadsters, and particularly that car, the 527.
507.
507, sorry. And we really wanted to get hold of that. And the idea came up, so why don't we do a film about the Roadsters? And kind of left it with Alex to figure out how that would actually happen.
Yeah, you see, back in those days, Drew had ideas and then it was my problem to make them happen. Now, I have ideas and it's someone else's problem to make them happen. Hey, look, I had more hair then, and horrible glasses.
And quite substantial sideburns.
Yeah!
I forget how much hair you used to have.
I did. Sadly, this job has ruined that.
I think you could still grow it back, and you'd probably have at least as much as me.
It's patchy's sin, and I'm just going to admit it and move on.
Oh yes, there's me with almost the same amount of hair that I have now.
See, people mock your necklace now.
Yeah, and
I've always been wearing them. The old one.
Yeah, and I've actually made a point of it. You might be able to see it now. I've gone out of my way to wear this necklace now, and we'll probably talk about that in a future episode a little bit more. But I've taken so much crap from our viewers for this.
I wonder why.
I wear necklaces all the time. When did we shoot? It was back in 2013,
That
right?
was April 2013, because we did this on the Thursday, and then the following Tuesday we did the Ford GT cars. And at the time, this was our most ambitious shoot. It was our first one with $1 million car. That 507 was worth $1 million. Now it's worth way more than that.
Way more. One had just sold at auction for €1 million, which was about the same as $1 million. And now it's worth way more than that. And it was a crazy privilege to have it because it doesn't get dug out. You don't see many films on that car at all. I don't think I've seen any. There'll definitely be more out there because all of these cars came from BMW, the older ones from BMW Heritage.
Yeah. I recently was given the opportunity to play in the 328, which is the successor to the one that's on the screen now, again. And you know what? That thing was terrifying on a circuit, and they were going to let me out in public roads, so I thought I wouldn't, frankly.
These cars were remarkably easy to drive, and despite the fact that they're older than most of our grandparents, they drove really, really well. But having them out on the circuit just gave... I mean, it would have been great to drive it anywhere, but driving out on the circuit, it was just so much more relaxed. They were great. They just delivered the cars and let us get on with it, which, considering that we hadn't really been around that long, was quite a lot of faith to put in us.
They were very trusting, weren't they?
Yeah.
That, I think, was a mistake on their part.
Well, the cars made it back absolutely in one piece. There was no problem. But driving these cars, because I did the older half and you did the newer half.
Because I was terrified of the older half.
Yeah, and
you have no fear.
I have no fear at all. And driving these cars, like getting in it was a completely different experience. These are the oldest cars I've ever driven.
Have you not driven a Model T?
No, I was not on the Model T shoot, and we'll probably cover that in another.
You must have driven one at some point.
No, I've been in one, but I've never driven one.
Oh, okay. They're weird.
They are, yes. But these cars were the oldest ones that I've driven still to date. And it was such a great experience. They felt like having it out on the track, just with the roof down, and it was such a nice day.
Now
the sun
that
was
shot
blazing.
there, where the car goes round and the camera moves down, if memory serves, that was very dangerous to do.
Probably. I can't remember if we had a jib hanging out the back.
I think we did.
What was our support car back in the day?
That was the Hilux.
The Hilux. Oh my god, we had the Toyota Hilux, which we had wrapped.
We had the Hilux, and we borrowed a Ford Ranger from the Heritage Fleet as well.
Did we? On this, because we also used a Ford Ranger on our Ferrari 458 film out in Wales.
Different Ranger. The
Different
one we
Ranger.
had on this one was a Heritage one.
Cameo from Alex.
Cameo from me in a film that I wrote.
Yes. Well, you wrote the second half.
Well, I tried to give you some guidance on the first half.
This was like the most fun to drive, because this was a proper like sports car. They raced this across all the big European races, and this thing sounded so phenomenal. And it felt like you could still go out and have a fun track day, which effectively I did.
You did,
yeah. The only thing wrong is the big no smoking sticker that's in the window, which kind of spoils the look a little bit.
A little bit, but you didn't smoke in it, so it did its job.
True. There's actually in this film, there was an interesting thing where I graded this film. I don't believe I edited it, but I graded it, and each segment from the previous car, this car, and then the next 4 cars, they're all graded differently to kind of match. Not match the film from the era, but to be inspired by it. So this one has got a far more, almost like an homage to this kind of footage, like a desaturated look. I'm not necessarily saying that I achieved it, but that was definitely the kind of the look and feel. But the next one is meant to look like Technicolor.
You're a nerd.
No, I'm just someone who's interested in the filmmaking process.
You're a nerd.
No, this one was slightly easier to do because just desaturated contrast, and it showed the car really nice. This really nice Fraser Nash BMW. And the next one was the trickiest one, because I was trying to get like to be really technical, a 3-color strip Technicolor process. So you have this really great kind of like Wizard of Oz kind of era of cinema, really, really rich colors that were completely artificially created, because there was no color film. No. They just used 3 different types of black and white film, one that exposed to red light, one that exposed to green light, and one that exposed to blue light, and then overlaid it on top of each other, and that's how they created the idea of color.
Old films look a bit weird.
Yeah, they have because they didn't have like the way of recording color that we have now. But I had a lot of fun working this. It was such a long film; it took absolutely forever. It actually continues through your films, your section of these films, where it has like the Z1 has more of a kind of a late '80s kind of feel. I think the one that achieved it best on is the next section. God, tax discs. Remember tax discs?
My car still has one.
What?
My yellow Lotus still has one, because it was at the very, very end of tax discs.
When was that? End of 2015?
Yeah.
So it's due up any day.
So it's due up in May next year.
For our non-British viewers, you might not have any idea what we're talking about, but we used to have tax discs in all of our cars in Great Britain, and they've just decided last year that you can just pay it and you don't need to show the tax disc anymore, which now almost feels a little bit weird, because we've all still got like the holder in our car where we used to put them every year, but no one needs them anymore.
Britain also used to have smoking in pubs, capital punishment, and national service as well.
So did
We've
most
moved
countries.
on. We've moved on. Beer.
Good
idea. See what we're doing while we're doing these. And we are doing these in a big job lot. We've started on a crate, and then when the crate runs out, we have scotch.
I've lost the bottle opener.
How? How have you lost the bottle opener, you fool?
Oh, here it is. Thanks, Charles. That's a sharp end! Dude!
Here's your Technicolor.
Oh, yeah. So, here we go. Now, like...
You may be no longer able to have children, but you can appreciate the Technicolor grade.
I've had as many children as I'm intending on having. There you go.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, so the idea is that this looked like a Technicolor shoot. And I'll be the first to admit that, I will have spent days trying to get this look right, and no one's noticed. No one commented on it. Although, to be fair, when this came out, this film did relatively well for us. But I think the BMW, again, the no smoking sticker in the windscreen. Really,
but they don't want people to smoke
I know, but it really spoils it. They could just tell us. Who would take out this car and smoke in it?
If you want to look super cool, classic car.
Smoking's not cool.
Or a cigar, big fat cigar and a Rolls Royce.
Yes, but this isn't a Rolls Royce. This is a 507.
This is the car that Elvis owned. Well,
Yeah.
not the very car, but Elvis
No.
owned one of these and famously swapped out the V8 because the one BMW put in it was a bit pants.
It wasn't great. I think if you watch the film, and this is the most fascinating car historically of the lot. Like the others, none of the other cars in this film affected BMW the same way that this car did. And I urge you to watch the proper film and listen to the exact story of why.
Also, because I am a nerd for cars, see lots of little design details, so that little gill thing that's going on now, and the kidney grille at the front. Later in the film, there's a Z8, and there's very obvious design liftages from here to
if you're going to lift, it rides a little high. I think that's the only thing you could possibly criticise it on.
Cars from that era, they're not like, let's be low and sleek. It's let's be comfortable and...
Look at me looking cool. Look at me looking cool. How much? It really rolls that car.
Lean.
Yeah, the suspension wasn't particularly stiff.
Nope.
No, I haven't got any pace in this car at all.
I don't blame you, because it was worth a lot of money and we were scared.
I love those knockoff bolts as well, because they look like they can extend and tear out someone's wheel like in Goldfinger.
You know you can get those for more than three-wheelers.
Really?
I'm kind of tempted.
But then if you have to change your wheel, you have to get a lead hammer.
I have one.
You have a lead hammer?
It's the only new car you can buy that comes with a hammer.
It comes with a lead hammer?
Yeah, it's in the back of the car.
Like an actual lead one for knocking those things off?
Yeah. It comes with a hammer and a big spanner.
Oh, wow.
So you put the spanner over it and then knock the spanner with the hammer and you take the wheels off.
I love watching old motorsport, like black and white newsreels where they come in for a pit stop and the mechanic comes out with a hammer to knock off the wheel. None of these pneumatic jacks that they have now. Look at that! It just looks like it would rip open a car if you drove past it. Yep, me looking cool again.
Cool.
Those I just absolutely love those wheels. It does ride a little high, but I love the look of those
But
with
the
the
thing
white
is,
rims like
A
that.
cool car on Steelies is cooler than a cool
White
car on
Steelies.
alloys. Yeah, or black Steelies.
Oh, black Steelies can that on the white Steelies, like that's as cool as any alloy I've ever seen.
I want another go in that.
That car was
I think
absolutely phenomenal.
we should revisit that car.
I think there's no reason why we shouldn't. There's been a couple of BMW cars. This, the M1, a couple of cars that I think definitely deserve revisit. That shot is soft. I never
It
forgave.
is, and the grade kind of finishes behind your head.
Yeah, well, it's a graduated fade. I love this bit. Nick did this bit to Nick Wilkinson, who used to be our video producer. This is the transition between shots. There's shots in there from films that we've made along with the historic footage.
There's M1, Star Wars, and E30 M3, and this is the BMW Z1, the first roadster they made since the 507. Now, this thing had an amazing party piece, as you're about to see. Its doors go down.
Which is the single coolest thing. And
there you go, look at that!
And it's unique. How often do you still see a car that has something that you've never seen in another car? Never before or since.
Well, they didn't do that because it's very impractical and stupid, but it did mean you could drive it down the motorway with the doors and the roof down, which on the way back from this shoot I did. And my shirt was whipping my chest so much at 70 miles an hour that it became painful.
You can take the doors off a Jeep and drive down the motorway
But
with
I
that.
don't want to drive a Jeep.
No.
No desire to drive a Jeep. But that thing is cool.
Fiberglass
And-
body as well.
What, that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because they said you could change all the panels in like 50-something minutes.
Yeah.
Which I think is a little bit of a lie myself.
White wheels again.
No, they weren't white wheels, they were just very light silver.
Oh, okay.
It's just you did the grade for this, so you graded all the silver away.
I graded it out. Yeah, the idea
So I
is...
also have a silver shirt on.
Yeah, and a velour jacket.
Velvet. I still have that jacket, and I love it to bits. It's like a safety blanket.
Look at the seatbelt go. Look at the seatbelt. That's how much wind is coming into the cabin. It's like, oh my God.
And that was like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That thing was so fun. I think we both commented it's a 10/10 car, because you could hammer it as quick as you like.
Yeah, sometimes that's not a compliment though.
No, we were having
A
fun.
G Wiz is a 10/10 car. You've always got your foot buried to the ground.
A G Wiz is not a car.
No,
it's
it's
a
a
quadricycle,
quadricycle.
and it's an abomination. And there's near our car park for work. There's a school, and every now and then we're there, kind of when the parents arrive to drop their kids off. So we're picking up cars or dropping them off or whatever. And there are a couple of parents that turn up in these things and look very smug.
G Wizes?
Yeah.
I haven't seen one on the road in years.
I wouldn't put my child in one of those.
No, they because they're a quadricycle, they didn't have to pass any NCAP European testing.
The crash test, they just go,
regulations.
car-shaped thing, flat thing.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
That was actually when I got started in making films about cars. This was back in 2007. That was the second car I ever made a film on. So I have fond memories of...
Hang on, so the second car I ever made a film on. Hang on.
The first one I ever made on was a Gen 2 Toyota Prius. And Toyota wouldn't lend us one. So Rory Reid, who was the presenter for us then, who you might know from Top Gear now,
Maybe.
lucky sod...
Bitter much.
So jealous. No, he actually had to rent it with his own money. Like, that's the only way we could actually get a car. That's what it took for us to get into this world of making films about cars. We had to rent one and make a film about it. It was a sad day. But yeah, second one was a G-Wiz.
So my
Love the tiny grill on that, like on an 8 Series.
It's dinky. Well, it was that era, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think my first car film was like a Skoda Yeti with my mate John when I was doing a podcast, and then my first proper film was a Seat Leon Cooper R. The Z3.
Yes, we have to talk about
now
this.
This is my favourite and least favourite bit of the film, maybe even my career, because BMW didn't have a Z3, and because they're a bit cack, we didn't really bother getting one in. Now, what we weren't expecting was that the Z3 has many rabid, unhappy fans who were willing to hound us via Twitter, email, even Facebook.
It was our first mass hate.
Oh man, it was so bad. And even now, people comment on this film going, why didn't you mention the Z3? Why did you dismiss it? It saved the company. Here's the reason. They're rubbish and I don't care.
Yeah.
That is entirely it. There's a reason they haven't saved one on the UK BMW fleet, and there's a reason I wasn't going to chase it.
They were also they were the most common car out of any of them, even more common than the Z4.
And they made a 1.4 litre Z3, and you can get it in that really horrible turquoise. Anyway, there's a good car on the screen now.
It's true. I would have said some of the comments that were made was that the Z3M would have been good. That would have been quite nice to have. That is quite a nice car.
My mate Alex had one of those, and he crashed it.
But we couldn't. But this is a Z8.
The Z8. I drove that
car.
again this year. I had a lovely little go round Henley.
See the shutter streaks like on the light. Just a nice little touch there. Just thought I'd mention that because no one noticed it when I made it.
No, the Z8 is fantastic. It's a bit soft and squidgy. The engine sounds incredible. My favourite bit, I think I say it in the film, is the steering wheel. Because when I saw it in The World Is Not Enough, I just noticed the wheel and those little sticky things, and it's just bang on. It's such a pretty car.
There was a moment when we were filming this where we had an extended crew. So traditionally the Carfection, or X-Car as it was then, the crew has only been 3 people. So it's been myself and Alex and one other person, and at the time it was Nick Wilkinson, our first video producer, and we had an extra group of people there helping us film it, and we wanted to get some group shots, and none of them actually ended up really making it into the film to an extent where we wanted the Z1, the Z4 and the Z8 all driving at the same time.
I have a picture of that.
Yeah, we have stills of it.
My mate Phil came down, took some pictures.
Yeah. But there was a moment where I think we did a couple of takes where we swapped cars.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where we were driving down one of the straights and we were kind of 3 abreast going down the straight. And I was in the middle, kind of looked to my left and I see you in one of the cars, and I looked to my right and I see Nick in the other cars. And it was just the most incredible moment at that point for us, because we really built this whole thing from absolutely nothing, X-Cars it was then, from a blank sheet of paper, absolutely nothing. So it was just like, I need you to go make a new car site, and I brought on the team and we built it up, and this was like the first really, really big comprehensive shoot that we did, and I was just looking, this is freaking awesome.
Well, the thing is, every now and then we have those moments where it's like, holy crap, this is our job, and then we keep doing it every 6 or so months when something kind of cool happens, and then you eventually stop going, yeah, here's you go, yeah, you said that a while ago, mate, it's our job now. But it's awesome. Like that was awesome. I have a picture somewhere of. Oh, that was the launch that you went on.
This is the launch. This is footage from Italy where I was on the launch for this car, where the idea and the seats were sewn to actually make this film. I was back there recently driving a car.
Boxster.
No, it was
Merc?
DB11. It was the Aston Martin DB11. Charlie, who's our new video producer off camera, just reminded me of that earlier this year. We were driving around some streets and I turned around the corner and I was like, I know where I am.
I know this road.
I was here with the BMWs Z4. Like the major manufacturers, there's maybe only 5 or 6 places that they go to. every time.
Where
I am so sorry.
cut to VT.
I'm so sorry. We couldn't avoid that one. So that's the road that I recognised,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I've been there. I've made a Z4 really dirty down that road.
That was the shoot that you went on. Now this I'm going to throw this one at you, because if I went on a launch and it was really rainy and came back without a film, you would give me an earful.
Oh no, there's a shot of us all three driving this car. Yes,
However,
I would.
You went on that launch, it was really rainy, and you didn't come back with a film.
I've done that twice.
Yeah, that's not something to be proud of.
Yes, but I'm the boss.
Bear in mind, I still control who gets the keys to the long term.
Yeah, but you could argue that we didn't come away from a film. You could also argue that we sowed the seeds for this film. And this film is way better than anything we would have got out on that shoot. Plus, we did use the footage.
Yep.
And the other one that I didn't go on.
30 seconds. 2 days out of the office for 30 seconds of a red car we had on a track.
Yeah.
In Britain.
But it looked great out there. I'd say,
yeah,
there is some footage of it. That's the moment where it was just like, I can't tell who's driving what.
If you see the sun glinting off someone's head, that'd be me.
You had hair then, but that is you in the Z4. Yeah. No, the other shoot where I went away and came back with nothing was the M6
Grand Coupe. But actually you didn't, because it's the opening sting to every single one of our films.
Every single film, back in the X-Car days, and now Nick's in the Z4
You're
there,
in the
and
8, and I'm in the 1.
The sting, opening sting, and we get asked about this a lot, is the sound of an Audi R8, and it's the shot from the front of a BMW
M6 Grand Coupe, which you managed to destroy the GoPro.
I smashed the camera doing it a fraction of a second after the clip ends.
Now, this was an interesting idea, because it took us several goes to actually line up properly, and also it's one of the cheesiest things we've ever done.
Oh, I still really like it. I think it actually worked really well. And
do you hanker for the 90s?
No. I don't think it's shot perfectly, but I think the perspective over my shoulder over to you makes me look way too big and you way too small.
Well, you are quite tall.
But also the cars are different proportions. Look how high the sill is on on my car. But I really liked it, because even though we were rehearsing the move to bring the cars in, I felt the conversation felt really natural, and it was we shot this right at the end of the day, and we'd had such a great day. It was so amazing. That's a great
sunburned.
Shot. I got pretty sunburned on my nose actually on that day.
Because you insist on wearing sunglasses while presenting.
Yeah. Well, it's really cool.
Thing is, if now kids, if you have to say something's cool, guess what it isn't?
I don't know. We'll leave that up to the viewers to decide. But it was genuinely a really, really bright day. So
it was a lovely day. It was a wicked day. Hang on, that Z4. So former producer Nick took it out for a run with cameraman Phil, who took some stills that day, and they had a little bit of an off that they only told me about 6 months afterwards.
On track?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I had no idea.
Nick managed to get it on some grass, and there was a lot of dust and mud.
I mean,
then Phil went a funny colour, and Nick went, "Sorry about that, mate."
Touch wood, we've been exceptionally fortunate, and despite the fact that we drive cars pretty hard, have come away relatively unscathed over the last 5 years.
I have a picture on my phone of a car that not one of us did. The orange imprint.
Yes, well, that's probably the worst track incident.
Hang on.
And that was just hitting a cone.
The worst track incident, yes.
Anyway, those are the 6 cars that we had. This was an absolutely fabulous day.
You know, as kind of bookmarks in the history of what we've been doing go, this was our first super ambitious shoot. And I'm proud of it, because we were so proud.
And
we put credits on it.
We
put
do
credits,
and stills from the crew. And this is a really lovely moment, actually, because this was the first time we shot with a crew that size, which for web videos is quite large. And we were so proud of it. We're putting our names on this. I love that.
Cheesy photo.
I love that. No. But that was a absolutely, and Charlie, if you'd like to pause it there, because it will autoplay the next one probably. It was an absolutely sublime day where we had some of the best cars that BMW have ever made, but also ones that almost bankrupted it. But and Castle Combe, you know, that was one of our early shoots at Castle Combe, but we've been back, and you'll see many more of these where we talk about it.
Because it's fast, it's fun, and it's cheap.
Yeah. Now remember, if you want to watch this film but without us chatting about it, there'll be a link in the description that will take you straight to the unadulterated, unabused version that you've just seen. And you can watch it all over again with the original audio. And I heartily hope that you do. We worked really hard on it and hope that you enjoy it. But we will be doing more of these up here on YouTube exclusively, so stick around for more of those in the future. In the meantime, we will see you soon.
Cheers.